The history of England, like that of many nations, contains complexities that are often glossed over in popular narratives. Here are some unexpected truths. ###. 1. Pre-Roman England had advanced societies while the Romans are often credited with civilizing Britain. The reality is that the Celts, who lived in what is now England before the Roman invasion in 43 AD, had developed complex societies. They built sophisticated structures like hill forts and had extensive trade networks with other parts of Europe. The narrative of the Romans bringing civilization downplays these accomplishments. ###2. The Vikings didn't just pillage. The Vikings, who invaded England in the late 8th century, are often portrayed as barbaric raiders. However, they were also settlers and traders who integrated into English society. Many place names in England, particularly in the north, have Viking origins, and they left a lasting cultural and genetic legacy. ###3. The Norman invasion wasn't just a military conquest in 1066. William the Conqueror's victory at the Battle of Hastings is seen as the Norman conquest of England. However, this was as much about transforming the ruling elite as it was about warfare. William replaced the Anglo-Saxon aristocracy with Norman rulers and instituted a new legal and landholding system, radically reshaping the social and political landscape of England. ###4. The Black Death changed more than population. The Black Death in the mid-14th century decimated about a third of England's population, but it also had long-term social and economic impacts. The labor shortage that followed gave peasants more bargaining power, eventually leading to the decline of feudalism. It was a key moment in the shift toward more modern economic systems. ###5. The Magna Carta was not about democracy. The Magna Carta, signed in 1215, is often hailed as the foundation of modern democracy. However, it was initially more about limiting the power of the king in favor of the barons, rather than granting rights to common people. Over time, its principles evolved into broader legal rights, but it wasn't originally intended to benefit everyone. ###6. The British Empire's darker side. While the British Empire is sometimes remembered for spreading modernization and the rule of law, it also has a much darker legacy. Colonialism led to the exploitation and suffering of millions of people in places like India, Africa, and the Caribbean. The wealth and power England gained from its empire came at the cost of the brutal subjugation of indigenous peoples and the transatlantic slave trade. ###7. Industrial Revolution wasn't all progress. The Industrial Revolution, which began in England in the 18th century, transformed the world with technological advancements. However, it also led to widespread urban poverty, terrible working conditions, and child labor. Entire families worked long hours in dangerous factories for very low pay, and pollution in industrial cities was rampant. ###8. The Glorious Revolution wasn't so glorious. The Glorious Revolution of 1688 is often depicted as a peaceful transition that established constitutional monarchy in England. However, it was far from bloodless. In Ireland and Scotland, William of Orange's forces engaged in brutal campaigns, leading to significant loss of life. It was a political struggle that had violent and long-lasting effects across the British Isles. ###9. Winston Churchill's controversial legacy. Though celebrated as a war hero and symbol of British resistance during World War II, Churchill's legacy is more complicated. His role in the Bengal famine of 1943, where millions of Indians died due to food shortages exacerbated by British policies, has cast a shadow on his reputation. Churchill's imperialist views and actions are often overlooked in mainstream portrayals of his life. ###10. Decolonization and post-war England. After World War II, England lost much of its empire. The process of decolonization was often fraught with conflict, such as in Kenya, Mau Mau uprising, and India, partition. England also faced economic decline and struggled to adjust to its diminished global role. The immigration from former colonies after the war also reshaped England's demographics and culture, creating tensions and enriching the nation's diversity.